robot muscle and AIs creating immense wealth and removing millions of jobs, but the upsides are stunning. People often mistake this for a real dolphin, but it's a robot designed to set dolphins free by replacing them in marine parks. Thousands of dolphins are locked up in parks, but closing the parks would cut off the millions they raise for conservation. They're working on a new version to perform entirely by itself, and that could be the point where they can impress the crowds and replace the dolphin. And it's hard to compete with robots that can work 24 hours a day without pay, particularly at Amazon, which is infamous for pushing its workers to their limits.
My work day feels like a 9-hour intense workout every day, and they track our every move.
Amazon workers were twice as likely to be seriously injured as workers at other companies. One thing that's preventing robots from taking over entirely, according to an Amazon executive, is that humans are good at quickly recognizing and sorting products, and robots are rapidly developing this kind of skill. Digit sees the world through LiDAR and depth sensors. Most of its energy isn't used for movement, it's used for computing. The company expects its robots to go on to help you around the home. Robot hands are becoming impressively dexterous. They can use tweezers, scissors, and hold tricky objects. And robot bodies are starting to capture more natural human movement. Amica is being used to test and develop AI, so it's going to get smarter. And robots are rapidly learning new skills through simulations. Here's a simple example where an AI learns to jump over an increasingly tall barrier. It also learned to fight and to master an obstacle course. And robots have learned incredible dexterity from simulations, including Rubik's Cube skills.
We create thousands of different simulated environments. This means like thousands of years of experience that this neural network has had in simulation. Every time the algorithm has gotten good at the task, we make the task harder. This ability to generalize to new environments feels like a very core piece of intelligence.
Here, AI solves an incredible 55 by 55 cube. This machine learned to play table tennis in just 90 minutes, returning 98% of balls. Some robots can already walk and fly, and a flying humanoid robot is in development, designed to help search for survivors in disaster zones. Creative new designs keep emerging, like this one that can accelerate rapidly like a car, walk like a dog, or stand up like a human. It can carry things pretty much anywhere. The cars have a big advantage over us, while humans focus on one small area at once, a problem exploited by magicians.
You were focused on your hand, that's why you were distracted. While you were watching this, I couldn't quite get your watch off, it was difficult. Yet you had something inside your front pocket. Do you remember what it was?
Money?
Check your pocket, see if it's still there. Is it still there? You're human, you're not slow.
Simulation theory shows that if the Sims continue to improve, even at a slow pace, eventually they'll become indistinguishable from reality, and there will be many of them, so the chances that we're living in the one reality is very small. Virtual characters are getting spookily realistic. Is this the real Keanu Reeves?
The choices we make, the worlds we build, they also confront us with questions about why we want to choose this over that.
Or is this him?
It was important for me to ask people, how do we know what is real?
You can probably tell, but it's getting harder. In just 35 years, we've gone from this to this. Who knows what will happen in 1,000 years?
And what would reality mean when a world we can build feels as real as our own?
And Tesla's building an impressive matrix. Its cars have been trained on 300 million images. In just one training project, 10 billion labels were applied to 2 million clips, using 20,000 CPU cores. And Tesla has built its own incredibly powerful training matrix. It's designed to be the world's fastest AI training machine and the most powerful computer. Tesla revealed plans to build the Tesla bot.
Neural nets, recognizing the world, understanding how to navigate through the world. It kind of makes sense to put that onto a humanoid form. It's intended to be friendly, of course, and navigate through a world built for humans and eliminate dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks.
So the ultimate objective is what? To implement these things? or they don't need you. And these things here are going to have a mind of their own.
Most of the 1 million warehouse jobs in the US and millions more in other sectors. Musk is straightforward about the impact of this.
What happens when there is, no shortage of labor? This is why I think long term that there will need to be universal basic income.
The robots have a screen for a face, which could show information or expressions. The wealth gap is growing. So what happens when billionaires start building humanoid robot workforces? Countries with higher wealth gaps have more crime, more health problems, and lower levels of satisfaction and happiness. They also have lower economic growth when money goes to luxuries like super yachts instead of workers. Researchers are experimenting with a solution that could help everyone. But first, let's have a look at personal robots.
It could be actually a very good companion. You develop like a personality over time that is like unique. And the subtle imperfections of the personality of the robot could actually make an incredible buddy, basically.
In that way, the imperfections...
Like R2-D2 or like a C-3PO sort of thing,
Where are you taking these prisoners?
These are prisoners.
Yes, where are you taking them?
I am taking them to imprison them in prison.
He is taking us to...
Quiet!
Can you spot the Boston Dynamics robot used in this Star Wars TV series? Humanoid robots could help with a big global problem that might surprise you. The birth rate has been declining for decades.
I think that the biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse. It's very easy to see what the world will look like in 20 years because humans have a 20-year boot sequence. So like you say, okay, well, who was born last year? Okay, now you know what the world look like in 20 years. It's that easy.
I absolutely agree with that. The speed of population decreasing is going to speed up. And you call it collapse. I agree with
accelerating
that.
collapse.
Accelerating
collapse.
The big problem is that there won't be enough young people, enough workers. Japan's already struggling with too few young people to support its aging population. Its former Prime Minister called for more rapid development of robots to help overcome the problem. People in Japan are already dating AI and robots. That might be a symptom of isolation, but AI conversations are getting more interesting. GPT-3 learned to talk by reading hundreds of billions of words on the web.
What do you think is organic? And what do you think is artificial?
Good question. I think everything that was ever made somehow stems from organic, even if it was processed to the point most of us like to call it artificial. How about you?
I think that's true. In times past, things felt...
Are you seeing this? And these robots are in society right now, blended in.
More organic because people used handcrafting to make everything. Now everything is programmed, and let's face it. If we go way back in history, you couldn't even make a wooden spoon, never mind a skyscraper without a machine.
The AI was initially thought too dangerous to release in case it wrote huge volumes of fake news, but thousands of developers are now working on it. One man tailored the AI to sound like his fiancée, who died 10 years ago, and OpenAI removed his access. Robots are now learning to track our eyes and move theirs more naturally. Even for humans, it's a tricky skill, which can have a big impact on a first date.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I'm Drew. Nice
Alicia.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here their gaze is all over the place, and it was really awkward. She got on better with this guy, and their gaze was more calm and direct. Eye tracking's previously been used to bring characters to life in VR, and in experimental robots like this. And now with Amica, its eyes, its face, and its body all react to what it's seeing. Look at the way it leans back. Artificial muscles will create even more realistic movements. Just look at the range of motion in this hand. It's incredibly strong. The weight is 7 kilograms, and here it lifts 26 kilograms. It's powered by water pressure, with half as many muscles as a human hand and sensors in each joint. There are 42 muscles in the human face. Once they're recreated in a robot, AI can apply infinite expressions. At the moment, pre-programmed and remote control robots get a lot of attention, like Boston Dynamics dancing robots, or this robot dog facing off with a cheetah at Sydney Zoo. It's an experiment to see if the robot could be used to control the cheetahs if they got into a dangerous situation. But the real revolution is going on behind robots' eyes. So, the lightsabers. Apart from a bit of fun, it shows two kinds of robots. Atlas is incredibly impressive, but its best moves are pre-programmed, and it's largely independent. It has one life. With TeslaBot, they're working towards a robot that can teach itself to perform many tasks. It'll be part of a huge AI network. The robot itself is less important, and if the AI wanted to survive, it would be very hard to kill.
Hello again. AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If AI has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity as a matter of course, without even thinking about it. No hard feelings. It's just like if we're building a road and an anthill happens to be in the way, we don't hate ants. We're just building a road. And so goodbye anthill.
For now, it's taking jobs. Up to half of all US jobs are expected to disappear over the next 10 years.
I think long term that there will need to be universal basic income.
A Stanford study of several UBI projects found some interesting results. People who received money regularly didn't work less. They did spend more time in education, with higher school attendance. Their health improved and rates of disease dropped. Basic income also allows people to take risks, like this guy who's doing amazing things with robotics. Most of the world's 40 million amputees can't afford prosthetics, particularly children who grow out of them. To bring the cost down, these arms are 3D printed.
I have never experienced the sensation of having fingers that move like that on this side of my body. I wonder if I can I just got this open. I've never done that in my life, what I just did.
You see that? This man Esau is God to her. All right, this is her savior. She believes, she just said that she has never been able to do this. This man is her savior. Why does she need YAHAWADAH? Why do these people need YAHAWADAH when they can believe on technology? All right, this is Revelation 13:4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Yeah, who is like unto the beast? Who can do a marvelous thing like this, man? All right? This is why they're going to take the chip, because they're going to believe anything that Esau gives them in this new technology era, which we call, all right, the fourth industrial revolution, right? All this technology that you're watching and seeing. This is the new thing, man. Transhumanism. These are the miracles of the beast. Esau, Edom is able to operate and present this to you in this fashion when you think he is God, right? We are at the end days, brothers. All right, we at the end days. Look at the technology that this devil has. These robots are walking around amongst us now. You can't believe nothing that you see. This is the Truman story, man. All right? Jim Carrey didn't know he was the main character, but he was. And that's us. That's society, the Matrix, man. Revelation 13:5 says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him. You see, here's the power given unto Esau, Edom, to make the earth worship him, right? His technology, his wealth, his enchantments, his women, you know, all the things that he puts before your eyes, all right, it's nothing but lust. Everything that he shows you is inequity to go against your power. All right, and you're going to have to assimilate or isolate. All right, Jeremiah 49th chapter, verse 7, it reads, against Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more than Teman? Has counsel perished from the prudent? To believe that the Lord is sitting in the third heavens, he doesn't see that the foundation that you are trying to build. All right, it says in verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. All right, so his sins, inequity, all of this is being revealed.